Hello everyone, and thanks for listening today. This is the RX Daily Dose. Today's episode is being recorded on Sunday, December 8th, and I'm your host, Ian Parnagoni. We update this podcast every week for healthcare providers, medical professionals, and anyone who has an interest in drug updates. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on all of your favorite podcast platforms and social media, including iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and Instagram. All links can be found in the show notes below. We only have a few updates from the FDA this week. First, on December 2nd, Mylan and Biocon announced the U.S. launch of Ogivri, a biosimilar for trastuzumab, which goes by originator name Herceptin. Ogivri is available in a 420 mg multi-dose vial and a 150 mg single-dose vial in order to provide patient dosing and treatment flexibility. Ogivri was the first biosimilar for Herceptin approved by the FDA and unanimously recommended by the FDA Oncologic Drugs Advisory Committee. Ogivri is approved for all indications of Herceptin, including for the treatment of HER2 overexpressing breast cancer and metastatic stomach cancer. Herceptin and biosimilar trastuzumab products contain a boxed warning for cardiomyopathy, infusion reactions, pulmonary toxicity, and embryo-fetal toxicity. 2 supplemental biologics license applications were recently approved by the FDA, expanding the manufacturing capabilities for Ogivri, as well as Mylan and Biocon's first U.S. biosimilar, Fulphila, a biosimilar for Neulasta. Mylan and Biocon biologics have sufficient manufacturing capacity to fulfill demand in the U.S. and global markets for both products. The FDA approval of Ogivri was based on robust data demonstrating that Ogivri is highly similar to Herceptin and no clinically meaningful differences exist between the biosimilar product and Herceptin in terms of safety, purity, and potency. Long-term results of the landmark Heritage study, which included overall survival data at 36 months, were presented at this year's American Society of Clinical Oncology annual meeting. Ogivri is the second biosimilar to be offered by Mylan through the Mylan-Biocon Biologics Partnership in the U.S., and the second FDA-approved biosimilar through this collaboration to support cancer patients. Mylan and Biocon launched the world's first biosimilar trastuzumab in India in 2014. Today, Mylan has one of the largest and most diverse biosimilar portfolios, with 20 biosimilar and insulin analog products in development or on the market. And one note on competition, Pfizer received approval from the FDA for Trazimera, a biosimilar referring Herceptin, in March this year, and has plans to commercialize the product in February of 2020. On December 5th, the FDA approved 3 applications for the first generics for Fingolimod, which goes by brand name Gilenya, for the treatment of relapsing forms of multiple sclerosis in adult patients. MS is a chronic inflammatory autoimmune disease of the central nervous system that disrupts communication between the brain and other parts of the body. It is among the most common causes of neurological disability in young adults and occurs more frequently in women than men. For most people with MS, episodes of worsening function and appearance of new symptoms called relapses or flare-ups are initially followed by recovery periods, that's called remissions. Over time, recovery may be incomplete, leading to progressive decline in function and increased disability. Gilenya is a widely used orally administered treatment option. The most common side effects reported in the clinical trials for Gilenya include headache, elevation of liver enzymes, diarrhea, cough, influenza, sinusitis, back pain, abdominal pain, and pain in the extremities. Fingolimod must be dispensed with a medication guide that contains important information about its uses and risks, including slowing of heart rate, vision problems, PML, and an increased risk of serious infections. Patients should be monitored for infection during treatment and for 2 months after discontinuation of treatment. PML, or progressive multifocal leukoencephalopathy, is a rare brain infection that usually leads to death or severe disability and has been reported in patients being treated with the drug. PML cases usually occur in patients with weakened immune systems. Other risks include respiratory problems, liver injury, increased blood pressure, and skin cancer. Fingolimod may cause harm to a developing fetus. Healthcare professionals should advise women of childbearing age of the potential risk to the fetus and to use effective contraception. The FDA granted approvals of generic Fingolimod applications to HEC Pharma Company, Biocon Limited, and Sun Pharma Industries Limited. The FDA also approved Avsola, a biosimilar for infliximab, which goes by originator name Remicade. Avsola is a tumor necrosis factor blocker and is indicated for Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, pediatric ulcerative colitis, rheumatoid arthritis, ankylosing spondylitis, psoriatic arthritis, and plaque psoriasis. Avsola is being marketed by Amgen, which has 10 biosimilar products in its portfolio, 4 of which have been approved in the US, and 3 are approved in the European Union. The approval of Avsola was based on data demonstrating that it is highly similar to Remicade, with no clinically meaningful differences based on evidence which included comparative analytical, non-clinical, and clinical data. The data included results from a pharmacokinetic similarity study conducted in healthy subjects and a comparative clinical study conducted in patients with moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis. Avsola joins 3 other FDA-approved infliximab biosimilars in the U.S. Those are Inflectra, Renflexis, and Ixifi. Only Inflectra and Renflexis are commercially available in the United States. No launch date has been announced for Avsola. One more item for this week. Genentech announced that the FDA approved atezolizumab, which goes by brand name Tecentriq, in combination with chemotherapy, that's paclitaxel and carboplatin, for the initial first-line treatment of adults with metastatic non-squamous non-small cell lung cancer with no EGFR or ALK genomic tumor aberrations. In lung cancer, Tecentriq is also approved in combination with Avastin and chemotherapy for the same indication, and also alone for those patients that have disease progression after platinum-based chemotherapy has been completed. And it's also approved in combination with carboplatin and etoposide for the initial treatment of adults with extensive stage small cell lung cancer. This is the 8th overall indication approval for Tecentriq. The approval is based on results from the Phase 3 IM-Power 130 study, which showed Tecentriq in combination with chemotherapy helped people live significantly longer compared to chemotherapy alone. That's 18.6 months versus 13.9 months. The Tecentriq-based combination also significantly reduced the risk of disease worsening or death compared with chemotherapy alone. Safety profile for Tecentriq plus chemotherapy combination appeared consistent with the known safety profiles of the individual agents used, and there was no new safety signals identified with the combination. And that's all I have for this week. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I'll include all links and resources in the show notes below, so please go back and check those out too. Please connect with me on any of your social media platforms and give me feedback on what you listened to today. I'd love to know what you thought about the episode. And as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. And thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Music by Joseph McGee.